In Kentucky, we don't just take chances, we bet big. This month, I'm sitting down with 4 Kentuckians who made 4 bold moves and asking one question: what was the biggest bet that you ever took on yourself? This episode of the podcast is brought to you by Town & Country Ford. No matter where life's adventures lead you, Town & Country Ford is along for the ride. Why was it important for you to stay connected to Kentucky and be able to kind of create, okay, this is home?
The whole time I wasn't living there, I was like trying to make friends and trying to set up a life out there, but it felt like I already had a life that I was missing out on back home.
They have a massive contract,
Oh,
a
yeah.
penthouse in New York City,
100%.
a TV kitchen, and I don't think people realize the hustle.
It's like I don't know that it makes us happier. Like I don't know that I'm happier than I was in 2004.
Welcome to the Best Bet Podcast. I'm Claudia Coffey. I am so excited to introduce this guest, culinary superstar, Chef Damaris Phillips. Now, I know people probably know that name, but the one thing that I'm super excited about for people to get to see the side of, this is somebody that took a big bet on herself, took a big bet on her culinary dream. But the hardest thing of all is she has never, ever lost sight of who she is, her core person, and didn't decide to ditch Kentucky when she started doing really well. Still true to roots, and that's just something that I think is one of the most important things. And that's so true. Chef, yay!
I'm so excited
D.
to be here.
I've just been excited to introduce you as Chef D is here.
Chef D.
Yes.
Phillips. You know, Damaris was not, I tried to do Chef Damaris Phillips on Instagram when I was like getting social media all those years ago, but it was taken. So that's why I had to go with D. Phillips.
And that's the thing for you that I think I've always been so struck by is that no matter the success that's come your way, you have been rooted in this is exactly who I am, and this is exactly how I'm going to do success. And I don't know if that is like been really intentional, or you're just like, well, screw it. This is this is who I am, and I'm going to continue to be loyal to like where I came from. And I have so much respect for that. So thank you for doing that, because people like me see that, and it's like, oh man, that's so real.
Well, I love our state and I love the space that we're from. And it is it's a very down to earth city, Louisville.
Yeah.
And the state itself is like, it has such great culture and such great, so many great people and so many great crafts and food and nature, that it's not like we came up without a lot of great things to be foundational. And then I have a huge family, and they're loud and they're very opinionated. And there was 0% chance that they were ever going to forget that to remind me that I came from a funeral home.
Here comes Miss Fancy Pants back home, right?
There was no way.
Let's make sure she realizes we're still going to tease her.
Oh, I have so many brothers and so many cousins. And my sister is like the greatest cheerleader, but also she'll let you know. Like she tasted a recipe the other day, and she's like, "You didn't mess it up by putting cinnamon in it, did you?" I love her. She's the greatest. There's like when you have people who deeply know you and who you love and deeply respect, there's no way you're going to forget who you are.
They're not going to let you.
No.
Like, ever.
No. And why would you want to?
No.
Why? Like nobody wants me to be like everybody else. Like they want to watch Damaris because I am this particular version of being a human.
Yeah.
And everybody has that own particular version of being a human that is vastly interesting. It's like so much more interesting than us all seeming the same.
Well, too, I think as I get older, I'm realizing that it's my weirdness and seeping into the edges of all of the weird.
Yeah.
That makes me me.
Yes.
And that's almost the best way to present yourself for me, like on a podcast or on television. I'm like, those are the people that feel like the most comfortable.
Yes.
That it's like, let your weirdness let it seep out.
Yeah, let us all be the unique little versions of ourselves that we are. And other people are out there and they'll connect with that. You know, like I've never connected with somebody that I thought like, wow, they've got it all together. I bet their closet's organized. That person to me, I'm like, I don't even know how they do it. I bet they smell good all the time. That's amazing. For me, I have always connected with a person who like spontaneously like is a little strange or says something off the wall. I'm always like, oh, I get awkward sometimes. Great. That's me.
That was the origin for this podcast. It was the unique bets that people made on themselves despite the odds. because I don't want to hear how people easily achieve success.
Yeah.
Like, I like the struggle and knowing that you risked it all.
Yeah.
So take me back to young Damaris getting into the culinary world. Did you always love to cook and know that's what you wanted to do, or did that come up later in life?
No, absolutely not. So I went to college for a lot of things because I thought I needed a grown-up job. But I started working in restaurants when I was 18. Like, as soon as I graduated high school, I started at Lynn's Paradise Cafe, which was just like everybody. If you worked in restaurants in the 90s and early aughts in Louisville, Kentucky, you worked at Lynn's. And so I started working there, and then I worked at a place called Highland Coffee for a long time, and was just like in the hospitality world and did the front of the house kind of stuff. And then I moved to Seattle when I was about 25, and I started baking, and I started at bakeries, like cupcake bakeries and stuff, still with coffee. And I got really into cooking in that way. Like, we were always a family that cooked, and early on, I dated a guy who was a chef, like when I was 19 or something. So I was always in the culinary world, but I was always going to college for other things. Like, I was going to college to like be a communication major or early childhood education, or pre-law. I was pre-med. I hate the sight of blood. It was a terrible fit for me. Like, I did PR, I did everything, marketing. I tried statistics. I tried.
Oh my God, you tried them all.
All of them. I was very bad at studying for all of them. And then I moved to Seattle, and I was out there without friends or family for the first time in my life, because I'm from Louisville and I have a big family and I've got a lot of friends, and I was never by myself, I swear. And it was the first time that I had a ton of time that I was just by myself, and I found myself cooking all of the time. At that same time, I found myself watching Food Network all of the time, and I watched that show, Food Network Star, and I was like, I think I could do this. Like, I think I could go on that show, and I think I could win. And I don't know why I thought that, but I did. So I made a plan. I was like, I'm going to go back to culinary school because I'm a female, and it's very male dominated. I was already in restaurants. I know it's very male dominated. And if you're not trained and if you're not the best, you're going to get steamrolled. Like, as a woman, you're just going to be steamrolled in the kitchen into doing like the lightest weight, most unrespected position. Like,
is it street cred to say, yes, I went to culinary school, or I trained under the chef?
It is, I think it's more street cred to talk about the restaurants that you've worked in. And so in addition to going to school, because I wanted to fast track and I wanted to have like a foundation, but then I would also stage at all across the country in different restaurants. I would look up these crazy famous restaurants or very well-known chefs, and then I would go and I'd work in those kitchens, so I saw as much as I could see. And I started doing the same here. I figured out in Louisville what chefs I respected the most, and then I went and worked in their kitchens. And so I was doing all of that stuff because I was like, I'm going to go on Food Network and I'm going to win that show, Food Network Star, and then I'm going to have my own show because I love to teach cooking. Because at some point I just realized, I don't know, I do love working in restaurants, but I also just love teaching. And so I got a job teaching at the culinary school too, and everything kind of just became this great life. I was working in restaurants, I was teaching at the culinary school. I absolutely loved it. And I would try out for these open castings every so often. Like, if you're interested in being on the Food Network, you find out who the casting agencies are, which Jennifer Sullivan is the casting agency that actually cast me.
You did the studying, didn't you? You're like, okay, let me find, I hear people that say they'll stalk people on LinkedIn. Who's the casting person? Where do they hold castings? There's a whole system to it.
Well, now this was 15 or 20 years ago, 15. I started doing this 20 years ago, but the casting, I got cast 15 years ago with Jennifer Sullivan. It was before social media really was a thing at all.
You really couldn't even go on LinkedIn then.
No, I would get an email. I signed up for this email or something. Honestly, I don't even really remember how I figured out Jennifer Sullivan. It would be an email, and it'd be like, we're casting for, a new show where, you want to be a star. And so I would go to these open castings, and I had adult braces because that was one of my things to tick off the list, because I was like, I need straight teeth to be on TV, and I need to go to culinary school, check, and I need to work at great restaurants all over the country, check, and I need to do all these things, And they called me I was getting ready to audition with a friend and we were trying to do it as a team. And they called me that day and asked me to come back in because I had auditioned before and they were always like, when do you think you're going to get the braces off? Because they were like full metal braces. I'm like, there's not a chance that you're going to get a television show with like adult braces on, And so they called me and they said would I would come back in. And I did. And they cast me out. And that was in like November. And then in January, I went on Food Network Star. And I'd never done TV. I flew out to LA.
Now wait. You did PR and communications in college.
Oh, yeah,
right?
for like,
that was
a half a semester. Until I was like, this is not for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like a real hometown girl. Like I just had no connection really to that world out there. But I went on the show and then I won.
What was your internal monologue like the first day that you stepped foot on the Food Network set?
I was like, I'm cool. I mean, really, genuinely. I went on and then I was watching who is now my very best friend. We were going through, they made you do this spiel that was your POV and they kept saying your POV. And I was like, what is this POV? And they were like, point of view. I was like, oh. And then literally while we're standing there doing it, they're like, what is your POV? And I was like, well, I guess I should have thought about all of this instead of thinking about the outfits I was going to wear on the TV show. So I was watching my friend Nikki and she goes, out of the gate, the cameras came on and she's like, hi, I'm Nikki Dinky. And I like to cook in a way that I call meat on the side. And I thought in my head, whoa, I am in trouble. And so everyone had really thought about it. And I was like, I guess, I like to cook in a modern Southern way. Like I love Southern food.
That's honest.
Yeah, my dad passed away from a heart attack. And I've always been interested in updating these classic recipes. So sometimes a little bit of a healthful spin. Sometimes I have a vegetarian husband. Sometimes it's taking the meat out, of our sides. Sometimes it's, adding in all of the flavors from the travels that I love to travel. I'm endlessly curious about other cultures and their food and like the spices that they use. And oftentimes it's like such a great thing to add in. Like it's so fun to update, a pot pie recipe with spices that I just discovered or that were introduced to me when we were traveling. So that's what I thought I was like, well, that's just the most honest way I can be about food.
Did you immediately go back to the hotel room and think, okay, I've got to get a POV? I've got to get my words straight. Like, did you go back and start making out all of your lists of how you were going to handle?
No.
I'm
just not that human.
I'm going to wing it.
I really was just I'm going to wing it. I wung it. I was like, wung it. Yeah, I did. They immediately were like, are you drunk? And I was like, no, I just seem drunk. All the time. That was the big, that was the drama around me is that they were always like, she's a little drunk and inappropriate. But I am.
Yeah.
I'm not drunk. I'm just like, I'm very goofy. I'm a very goofy human.
Those producers behind the scenes had to be thinking, this is the perfect storyline because she's just being herself and we're just going to feed off of this.
Yeah, I mean, yes, yeah. I think so. Now that I've worked in it and I work with those same producers and I know, it's a small family. It's a Food Network family of producers and stuff. So now yeah, I know. They're like, oh, we were pumped for you to be on, or we loved you, or so-and-so was like, that person's going to win from day one, And it has been the person who ended up casting me from the Food Network later was like, oh, I'm the one that cast you. And I am forever grateful to him. He's like, when I saw your video, I knew that there was something about you. He's like, you can't, because you're so quirky, you keep people on their toes because you never know what you're going to say. And so he's like, so there's something really interesting about watching you because you're weird.
What did I say about the weirdness?
Absolutely.
Right? The weirdness seeping out. That's like TV magic to watch just somebody just be weird on camera.
Just get a little weird. Yeah. Just get a little weird.
Were you nervous at all on that show that you felt like you weren't focusing on the cooking at times and you had to say, come on, snap out of it. I got to focus on the meat of this, the cooking.
The food was that was never where I had struggled ever. The food, because I spent so much time in kitchens and because I spent so much time kind of training that skill, I was never not confident about food. I'm never not confident about food. Even when I go into things now, like every so often, we are constantly judged on the shows all over and over and over and over. You know, and after 100+ times of doing it, and if you don't win all the time, which I don't win all the time, but I just keep doing it because it's part of the job. You know, every so often something will sneak in that's like, oh, am I not as good as I think I am? And then I'm like, no, I am.
I got this.
Yeah, no, I am.
Was there a moment on that show that you realized I'm doing exactly what I should be doing? That you feel that sense of this is my purpose?
I don't think it was then. It was later for me, because even going through the process, and you film the whole process and you're away from your family and you don't have your phone, you don't have the internet, you don't have TV. You kind of can just read books when you're not on set. So it's this very unbalancing kind of feel. Like it really, I mean, that's how you get great drama, is like people are like, this is the only thing that there is. And they've kind of removed all those things for us. So for me, it felt very I felt very unbalanced for the first time in my life. I was like, who am I? What is this? And then the show came out, and then people immediately started treating you a little different, like just a little bit different. Like, you know, like I think everybody's expectation is that your life is going to be completely different overnight, or like you're a completely different person, or my favorite is like suddenly you're super rich, which was like, which people also act very differently around. I would love to know what the super rich, what that's
I think
like.
the expectations nowadays is that you see somebody on the Food Network and you automatically, people think, oh, they have a massive contract, a penthouse in New York City,
100%. Absolutely.
a TV kitchen. And I don't think people realize the hustle associated with doing what you do.
Now.
Like it is, before, like growing up, I would like love to watch Martha Stewart, because that
100%.
just seemed like so cutting edge to me, that she has a magazine, she has a TV show.
Yep.
And she tends to her sheep and her horses. And
She's amazing.
she's amazing. And you have a cookbook. And that seemed to be like the perfect recipe for what was success. And then something just changed.
Yeah. I mean,
And that's I'm not in it, but it just seems like you have to be doing a little bit of everything, and a little bit of this, a little bit of that, and planning ahead for the next 5 years all at the same time.
it is very different. It's different than when I started. Like I barely had to do social media when I first started. Like,
And then social media. I forgot about that.
It wasn't even a thing.
Right.
It just genuinely, I had multiple shows where I never posted about social media ever. I never was like, hey, watch my show. Like, it just wasn't part of it, you know? Until, and it for me really, really switched to the pandemic. And I think that everything kind of switched, and the desire to have more of people kind of switched, and the more realness of people kind of switched. And I love it because at that same time, my brother, who ended up also going into film and kind of simultaneously, he went to film school and like was working for a really long time in film before I ever went on a reality television show. He always did the behind the scenes stuff of it. So he was out in LA, and then during COVID, he moved back home. And so we started a production house together because of all this stuff that I had to start doing. And because we were finding like brand deals, they want you to have like very high quality things, and they're expecting you to be able to do it in your home. And I'm a fairly, this is going to I mean, I say it and everybody's like, okay, but I'm a pretty private human.
Yeah.
And I don't mind sharing, but I don't always welcome everybody into my safe spaces. And so I didn't like it when strangers would come into my home and like be around my cats and like in my safe little haven of quirky weirdness. I don't really like strangers in there. And so it was much better for me when it became my brothers and when it became like a team, and when we started realizing like, oh, this isn't going away. Like, it's not going away. It's just going to become more and more. Like, people want all of it. They want to consume content all of the time. And you have to figure out a way to do that. And more, like, I would say more important than, Like I have another project coming out, and they didn't care. They didn't even ask me if I was hosting a show right now, which was the biggest
That's
thing.
wild.
When I sold my first cookbook, they were like, "Are you hosting any shows?" That was the one question. That was it. That is what mattered more than
Now,
anything.
do you have a social media series? Do you have a signature series?
Absolutely.
What was the thing they care about the most now?
Social.
Seriously.
Yeah. What's your engagement numbers on social?
Yeah.
How are you doing on these different platforms? Like, what is your plan for YouTube? And networks now? Networks, which 5 years ago when I was like, I've got some YouTube ideas, they were like, why would we invest money in that? Now they're like, do you have any YouTube series? Because it is the best. I mean, you cannot fake authentic. You just can't do it. They want to fake authenticity but it doesn't work that way. And people are we've seen it so much now that you really genuinely just want to see real people being themselves and seeing if there is a spark about that human.
And when you started, there seemed to be a trend in the industry, and your brother probably sees this too. It needs to be super polished and super high produced. And now it's taken a step back to let's make it a little messy. Mm-hmm. I don't know about you, but I'm the kind of person that I'm like, okay, we need to tighten up that edit. We need to make sure this is just right, because I thought that's what they want. I want to show everybody that I'm polished. And now it's like, mess it up a little bit, girl.
Yeah, make it look a little bit
Make it
less
look a little
good.
messy. And I'm like, oh my gosh.
Well,
right? Like make it look a little bit, how are you adjusting and your brother adjusting to that and still like letting it flow?
So he has a harder time because he actually studied film and studied.
Gosh.
You know what I'm saying?
He
Like
must be pulling his hair out, like thinking
all the
what am I
time.
gonna
He's
do?
like, I just keep reminding
This
myself.
violates all the rules of this and this. And
He'll be like, make it worse. But he's so great, and he's and now that he's embraced it, like I think at first it was really hard for him, but now it's just a different style, and it's just like any other style of film or any other style of video making that has come along. It's just a different style, and so learning that and being somebody who's constantly willing to learn or constantly willing to like say I don't know, but I'll figure it out. I think that it is a joy to watch him because he always figures it out, and he has enough confidence in himself to say yes, even if he hasn't learned it yet. He knows that he'll get there, which is fascinating. Like he's the most talented guy I've ever met because he'll be like, I'm going to figure it out, and he will. And so even with social, he's like, I haven't figured it out yet. I'll figure it out. And then his motto was like, just make it worse. Just make it worse.
Or leave some mistakes in there.
Yeah, the mistakes are I'll do it sometimes just to, this is such a, like,
For engagement?
Absolutely. I'll do
Does
it.
she love it? Like I'll mispronounce something and I'm like, just leave it in there.
Leave it in, or like
in.
in the comments, spell something wrong, or just to let people, because people want to, there's a certain style of human who likes to correct.
Yeah.
They just do.
Yes.
And so I'm just giving them something to correct.
I'm giving them something to do.
Yeah. The other thing is like now we constantly think about building a community that actually is fostering engagement and fostering people to be like part of a community, because it has gotten a little, I don't know, it's gotten a little sad out there.
And I find I want to be a part of something.
Yeah.
I think people want to be a part of something, that it's not enough to follow you. I want to understand what everybody's like around this person, whether it's you or other people that I follow on TikTok. I'm like, I could see myself hanging with those people.
Yeah, absolutely.
Isn't that, and it's not delusional, I swear, but I'm just like, I would probably buy anything that they would sell.
Yeah. It's
Get
very
me,
intimate.
Get me to check out, ding, 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 and I'm buying it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I forget that everybody's not doing that. Like when I forget that it's not a part of everybody's life.
Right.
Like everyone is, even though we think that everybody's out there posting stuff on social media, the truth is they're not being like, and this is what happened to me today. The average person is not at that level yet of like building that amount of content.
Yeah.
And so I forget how powerful. I always think like nobody's watching this, like I'm putting it out here and like no one's even going to see this. But it is like, it's a lot of people and they're seeing lots of lots of parts of your life. And so figuring out the best way to build the community that you're wanting to build within that space is exciting and also pretty weird to talk about, like, what community of people and am I trying to build, and what is the work of social media that I'm trying to do? Because I think for a long time it was like, I'm just doing it to promote the stuff and you have to do it. But now I look at it as like, this is part of my work. And what am I using? Like, what is the goal of this work? Yeah. And for me, it can't be like getting more followers or getting more famous. It feels insane to say that. So for me, I had to switch. And once I switched and figured out what that was for me, it became super easy.
Wow. I'm going to take notes.
Oh, come on.
No, really. It's just, I think people want to be a part of something.
Yeah.
They want to identify. I think social media makes them feel very isolated and alone.
Yeah.
Because they're not socially interacting, that if they can find and duplicate that sense of community online, they want that.
Yeah.
They want to. It makes them feel seen in some way.
It's also
makes me feel seen.
100%.
Absolutely.
It's like a little addictive. Like,
I
love it so much, but it's like I don't know that it makes us happier. Like, I don't know that I'm happier than I was in 2004. Now with all the hustle. Mm-hmm. Like, I'm like, you know what I used to love? Getting off of work and never thinking about work again until I had to go back to work.
What do you do to unplug and unwind?
I try to not work past 5 p.m. Like, I try to be really like strong with my work hours and non-work hours. This season of my life has been especially busy, and I've had to work longer than that. So I'm taking off 2 months in the summer. I'm going to try and do nothing. Like, I'm going to try
even a house project.
No, I don't really think so. I think I'm going to just let it all go.
That's right. After Derby, it's over.
I'm just going to like let it go. I'm just going to like, you remember like in my 20s, my house would be so messy.
It
like,
was okay.
Were you a messy person, or have you always been neat?
I would like arrange when I would have play dates when we'd be finished playing. I was the one that says, all right, let's put everybody to work here. We're going to put everything back in its place. You know, and people would be like, oh, Claudia, we don't want to put everything back. I'm like, come on. If we work together, we're going to get it done really fast. I'd want everything right back. But I enjoyed the mess of it, but I needed to get it back in order.
I want to be you. When I grow up, I want to be you. That is I have always been messy. Like, my locker would be one of those lockers that you opened up and it was just papers stuffed, stacked on top of each other. My backpack, stuffed into the bottom of the backpack. Bed under the bed, stuffed under the bed. Piles of clothes. I've always been a mess. In my adult life, I've found the tools that help me stay like tidier, but I think I could let it all go again.
For the summer, you may have to. Yeah.
Hot girl summer, you know?
Hot girl summer.
It's not going to be
hot summer.
Exactly.
You need to give it
piles.
You need a trending name.
Yeah, well, we're going to think about that. Let us know, everybody.
Okay, pause.
Come
Take
up with
a quick break, coming right back. We're going to get her a trending name and talk about her roots here in Louisville. Stay with us. More Chef Damaris Phillips coming back. I grew up in a Ford family. My dad worked at the Louisville Ford assembly plant. And it wasn't just a brand for us, it was a way of life. And that's the thing about Ford, is that they're woven into a part of our culture here in Kentucky and across America. So no matter where life's adventures may take you, Town & Country Ford is along for the ride. Whether you're a neat sipper or a cocktail king, the ultimate pilgrimage is calling. The Kentucky Bourbon Festival returns to the bourbon capital of the world, Bardstown, Kentucky, September 10th through the 13th. Tickets go on sale soon. Mark your calendars for April and go to kybourbonfestival.com. Come on. Welcome back. I'm sitting down with Chef Damaris Phillips, and we've been talking about everything from Food Network star to what she's doing now to managing the things of social media. And I won't go back to social media just yet.
Okay, let's not yet.
Because then it's like making me like make lists and things like that. Are there chefs that you've worked with that you admired that you could not believe that you were actually sitting and being a colleague of?
100,000%. It happens every so often. I'll catch myself in what seems very regular now. Mm-hmm. And you know, I try to remind myself that 15 years ago or 20 years ago, Damaris, if you had whispered to me, like, you are going to go to Bobby Flay's house for New Year's Eve. Like, you're going to get an invitation to go spend New Year's Eve at Bobby Flay's house. I would have been like, no way. And then it happens and you're like, oh, and then it just becomes
no big deal.
It just becomes normal.
Yeah.
Like I mean, everyone I watched on the network, I watched those people on the network before I was on the network. So when I met them, I was like, oh my gosh, I've been watching you, but like, be cool. Don't say anything.
Don't act crazy.
Yeah. Don't make them not be able to just be a person with you. Like, just be a person with that person. Allow them to get to know you. Be a friend to them. Don't be a like fan. And so thankfully, I like realized that pretty quickly. But I don't know. When I'm texting somebody or when I look through my phone and I can see people's numbers, I'm like, this is wild. Or like when I meet famous people from other industries, there's this odd difference that happens because they're like, oh, well, you're not a musician, but you're a famous person in the chef world. So like, we're cool. Or like, you know, if somebody's like a athlete, then there's like this instant, like, I don't know why. Some of that has to do with social because they'll like look at your numbers and be like, oh, they're doing something. Yeah. But there's also just this moment of like, oh, I might not know who you are, but I know that other people do know who you are. So there's all of a sudden this like, we're cool that I always forget about until I go into places. I'm like, oh yeah, people are going to think that I belong here. This is cool.
But I think they have to be going through the same things that you are too.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
100%. Everybody's just a human.
Yeah.
And all of us are figuring it out. And every single day is the day that we have the most experience we've ever had. Today.
Yeah.
Today is the time when I'm showing up with the most experience I've ever had in my whole life.
And at the end of the day, it's your livelihood and what you do. Like, you want to be around in 5-10 years and keep doing like fun things. It may look different in so many years, and
Absolutely.
that's totally fine. Then who have you looked to and you're in that circle that you think, you know, this is somebody I honestly can ask, what do you think about this? Or get their genuine advice where you realize, oh, wow, their humanness is so real because they're worried about the same thing at this level than I am.
Absolutely. Yeah. I recently sent Bobby a text that was like, hey, I have got a couple of questions about, you know, my career. I'd love to ask you. I can do the same to Guy. I can be like Guy. And those people have been in it long enough that they really do. And they both spend a ton of time bringing up other chefs.
Yeah.
They both, you know, really try to help and foster that relationship and those, like, that working trajectory. Because it is very hard. It's also changed so much. Again, it's changed. And I think that now we're all kind of trying to figure it out together of like, what does this look like? And what does 10 years from now look like? You know, like, how do I become, I always joked and I was like, how do I become Martha Stewart? That's who I always wanted to be. I always wanted to be Martha. Like, I always wanted it to not just be cooking, but like a whole way of living, which I think she did before people realized that she was doing like lifestyle. You know, like, she was, same with Ina Garden. Like, it's not just about what Ina makes and her, you know, beautiful recipes. It's about the whole life that Ina cultivates and the whole life that Martha cultivates, that I think is where I'm always like, yep, that's mine. It's going to be all secondhand and like a little messy,
A little quirky.
Who's in?
But Martha, even, I think what's so fascinating to me about her is that she's still pivoting. And I respect that like so much, is that I think I saw this fabulous ad of her in mother jeans. And I'm like, oh, Martha.
Come on.
Martha's like in these sexy jeans. And it's like, she just seems fearless about taking these pivots that you wouldn't even associate her with.
Yeah, brilliant.
Like, how far ahead does she think?
She has.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, she is brilliant.
Yeah.
Right? And so I think, you know, as long as we're able to not try to, like, Martha's never trying to be somebody besides Martha Stewart.
Right.
You know, she's being herself, and she's just found a way to use that to help people. And she found a hole. Like, there was a hole in entertaining, and it felt stuffy and it felt hard and it felt like if you think about when Martha came onto the kind of the scene, the 80s and 90s, who the women were at that point, like my mother raising her kids in the 90s looked very different than her mother looked raising her kids in the 50s and 60s. And so we did need somebody to tell us, like, this is how to run a house. This is how to, throw a party. The greatest thing about Martha Stewart, though, is that she wasn't ever like, well, now I'm 60. I guess I'm done. Like, I love it. Yeah. I love that not only is she a role model for my mom, but she's a role model for me because she wasn't like, oh, I'm an older woman now and now I need to be quiet.
I think I'm going to put on a swimsuit and be on the cover of Sports Illustrated.
Absolutely. Like, I mean, stunning woman also. Like, stunning. But also, like, she wasn't like, oh, now I'm going to fall into the role that has been set up for women, which is after a certain age, you just become like a kind of a silent grandmother. You fade into the background. You support other people. Instead, she was like, I'm a brilliant mind. Yeah. I am still a force. I'm still out here like with the most experience and probably the best ideas.
Yeah.
And so for me, I think like what a great role model. Like I need to see women who aren't like, oh, I'm in my 40s now. Well, I used to be cute. Instead being like, I'm hot. I'm so hot. I'm hotter now than I've ever been. And I'm only getting hotter. Like what a great role model.
Hot Girl Summer. That's going to be you all summer.
All
Hot Girl Summer. Trending name we've got to come up with it before we wrap up the show.
It's going to be piles of clothes summer.
Coming back to it. Totally coming back to it. I wanted to ask you about why it has been so important for you to stay connected to Kentucky. So often somebody sees success and I'm going to go live in New York or LA where I'm a little bit closer. I mean, rightfully so, to bookings.
Yeah.
2 shows, 2 studios.
Yeah.
But instead, you are gonna, and I've seen a lot more chefs doing this. I had a conversation with Chef Sam Four where she's going back and forth to all these different places because she's like, I like Kentucky. And she said, I like that I feel creative and free when I'm here.
Yeah.
And so for you, why was it important for you to stay connected to Kentucky and be able to kind of create, okay, this is home still?
So when I moved to Seattle, I was like 26. And the whole time I wasn't living there, I was like trying to make friends and trying to set up a life out there. But it felt like I already had a life that I was missing out on back home, And so I thought, every time I'm not at my niece's birthday party, that's a time that you don't get back. Or every time I can't be home for Thanksgiving or Christmas, or a Wednesday when you can just stop by and, drop a casserole off at a friend's house or go on a walk in Cherokee Park with a friend. Every time you're not there for that, that is time in your life that you don't get back, And so like, yes, you can build a life in another city, but I had a life and a family and a community already here. And if I went and built it somewhere else, I was going to have to say goodbye to the community that I loved so deeply. So for me, it wasn't an option. Like, it's just not an option to not live in community with my community, and I could travel, blah, 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 but it's never going to be a Thursday night playing games on your front porch, right? With the people that have known you since you were 13. Like, that's just never going to happen. And you only get one life, and you only get one choice in how you're spending it. You don't get every choice, like you don't get to live in every single city. You can, but if you do that, you don't have what I have here. Yeah. And I think sometimes I get I don't know what it is about Louisville or Kentucky in general, but like there's something about it, like people really genuinely think like you should move away. Like there's almost like a feeling of like, oh, maybe you're not really successful if you stay.
She just didn't make it the way she should.
There's like, it's strange to me. And I think sometimes I struggle with being a woman from the South with like being able to be in my success. Mm-hmm. Like I try to be like, oh, it's not a big deal. But sometimes I'll be like, no, it's a big deal. Like I've done big things. I choose to be here. Mm-hmm. This is a national thing that I am choosing to be here. And I think sometimes the only thing I wish is that there was like a little bit more like support from the community for people who have chosen to stay here. Cause there's like all the love for people who have left and come back or like
get your picture on a building. I know.
Girl,
I know.
Girl.
I know. I'm just saying.
Lived here. They're like, they lived here for 6 months in the 6th grade. Picture on a building.
Yeah. Yep.
It's fine.
But I think too, and this goes back, see, it all goes back to social media one way or the other. But I think since COVID, because of social media, because of the changing industries, you don't need to live there when you can create massive amounts of content that attract viewers and followers from all around the world.
Everywhere. Yeah.
And do it from your kitchen. Like that's where we are.
Well, and it's not only like from my kitchen, but like I have a studio. I was able to build a studio kitchen in my home, like in our guest home, because I could afford to buy a house here.
Yeah.
Because I could afford to buy a house that had a guest house. Because I was afford to build a studio kitchen. Those are all like not projects that I could have ever done in New York or in LA or even in Atlanta. Like I just
can't even do that in Nashville.
I was going to say I couldn't do it in Nashville.
Yeah.
Like I couldn't have afforded to do that. I couldn't afford to pay a team to help me build this if I was living somewhere else. This place allows me to stretch my money so that I can grow. I just couldn't do it somewhere else.
We think of like celebrities that choose to live in Idaho and fly to Texas for filming or LA or wherever else. I think that's just, you're able to now.
Yeah.
It's not necessary.
No, and the world is small.
It's very small.
Especially the United States. I'm like, you can get almost anywhere on direct flights. And even if they're not direct, it's like kind of cool. I don't know. It's not even as boring to travel as it used to be. Now you're connected, you're working, you're doing all kinds of like, it's just like a day at the office. And you just like, my day at the office is flying to New York.
That's just this week.
No big deal.
No big deal. Come back home by the weekend, right? That's it.
They have it now that I sometimes have flown up on the 6 a.m. flight that gets me in at 8. I work, and then I come home on the 8:45 flight. I don't even spend the night.
Oh, you don't?
I do it all the time.
Yeah, you're not the first person I've heard that's been doing that. It's just like, I just need to get home by this time.
I need to be home tomorrow morning.
Bed.
Yeah, exactly. It's not a big deal.
I got meetings tomorrow.
Yeah, it's not a big deal.
I'm like, okay.
Just fly up, you do your work, you come back.
Yeah. You just need a jet now.
I don't know. I think I would rather have a housekeeper than a jet.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, housekeeper over jet all day, every day.
What would you love about, like, what things would you love for a housekeeper to do?
You know, iron my clothes. Iron my clothes. I would love it. I have a friend that irons everything. She steams everything before it gets hung up in the closet. Her stuff is never wrinkly. She's amazing. And she's always like, yeah, of course, you just, when you take it out, you steam it and you put it on the hanger and then you hang it up. It's like, those are skills and something I have never even considered doing, but she always looks like, her clothes always look great.
Just put on something effortlessly and walk out the door.
Yeah, always looks like it came from the dry cleaners. Amazing.
I love when you showcase on social media your friends dressing up and going to Derby. I love the themes, and this is going to air like after Derby, so we'll get to see kind of what you all put together. But take me inside, like, how do you plan the theme, and then how do you organize everybody going to get their outfits, or do you just like tell them you need to find this and this is the theme?
Yes.
Okay.
So
I love it.
I am I'm a pretty casual human, but I am not a laid back person, especially about things that I love. Like, and I used to think I was laid back, and I'm not. I'm not laid back at all. I come up with the theme, and I then tell them.
How many months does it take to put together the theme?
So we do this fun thing where we accept suggestions.
Okay.
And then we kind of root through the suggestions. So like at Derby, we'll be taking suggestions and people can put their suggestions into the box. Sometimes we'll pull it out and be like, oh, that's a great theme, we'll go with it. Sometimes we'll like be like, that theme won't work, it's garbage, it's not good, or we've done it or whatever, you know, but we take suggestions. The theme from this year, one of them was not my idea, it was somebody else. They sent me a note, one of our friends that's gone before was like, I really think that mime is a great idea. Because, yeah, I know, mime chic, you know, like.
Mime chic.
Yes.
Okay, that could be kind of like French, right?
So the color palette for me is very important because you want to be kind of striking.
Yeah.
And I always think about Derby. It's so colorful.
Is this year?
Yeah. So that one, and then the other one is 1970s Elvis.
Oh yeah.
So for
There you
me,
go.
it's all about one, what is going to delight people? What is going to make people smile? What is going to help people have a little bit more fun with their outfits next year? What's going to help people like show up? One, sometimes it's just not that fun to go to Derby, especially if you've been a bunch of times. Like you're watching horse racing and like there's not a ton of way to interact with people. And so for me, I'm always figuring out ways that we can be like not a us and them, but invite people into the fun.
Exactly.
And so the themes are kind of that. Like that's so mime I love because like there is an action that goes along with it. Like suddenly you get to like start miming and it just makes people laugh.
It's community.
100%.
It's
And
like
you're
you
like
cannot help but not want to get involved in the mime.
And I have been telling
The
people
pantomime.
I've been telling them that it's a thing that they put on that like I've been saying for years. Oh, yeah. There's a contest that happens. You theme your box. The best theme wins. It's a lie, but I just want other people to start like theming their boxes. And I imagine people decorating their box.
That'd be great.
Wouldn't it be so fun?
That'd be great.
I'm going to try and bring some stuff for our box so it looks like a mime box. And then I'm going to bring some that looks like Elvis.
And go up the side.
Absolutely.
Oh, yes.
A balloon lifting me up. Oh, pop. Me riding a horse or betting.
Yeah.
Like 5 on 13. It's just,
It's so fun to watch. It's so fun to watch the reveal.
oh, yeah.
Right?
We were going to do Care Bears, which see, that feeling that you
I
get.
love Care Bears.
Yeah, that nostalgic
Yes.
delight of
Yes.
feeling. Yeah, that's it. But again, the colors aren't as striking because it's so colorful. So now I think
Yeah.
sometimes I try to think about like what is still going to stand out and be just as weird as possible. Like what is
It's just fun because Derby can be a lot of work.
it can be a lot of work and it can feel like, especially for people like, it can feel like, what do I wear? Or it can
Yeah.
feel stressful.
And
or it
not
can-
attainable. Like I can't relate to somebody wearing a $12,000 hat or like
I
the
mean-
amount of money that goes into it. And it's like growing up, I mean, we couldn't afford to go to Derby.
Oh, I
growing
didn't
up.
go.
I mean,
The first time I went was infield and I was 19. That was the first time I ever
That
went.
was all we could afford.
I mean, we would sometimes sneak in. Like my brothers always snuck in because it used to be like you could sneak
Yeah.
in. It was so
imagine?
different in the
Can you imagine?
90s. Come on, you remember when in the infield you could bring coolers of your own food?
Yes.
You could bring pop-up tents, and people would have.
Tents.
You could bring those like 8x8 or 12x12 tents, and people would get there super early.
Grilling out
Grilling out with one little hibachi grills in the infield.
in the infield.
That I understand that Churchill Downs has to make a profit. I get that. I do. I understand it's a business. They're not out here trying to like,
But give me a little bit that feels like my backyard.
I mean, at least like take down those fences so people can
Yeah.
go to the neighborhoods and
Yeah.
get the grill out that way. I'm like, it's so hard to get in now. You got to walk like 9 miles to get
know.
in. It's just,
I loved, we would do like neighborhood get-togethers. I mean, those for me were just like, who's cooking what, who's bringing what casserole dish, and it was like favorite. And then you'd go around the neighborhood and you put the names of the horses on the paper,
Yep.
and you get everybody to like pitch in, and who's going to win the pot. at the
$5
end of the-
pot.
$5 pot at the end of the day. Like those were, like the first time I went to Derby, I kept thinking about those nostalgic events because it was so. Those were my people.
Yeah.
Like I kept thinking those parties are fun.
I mean, people would get dressed up in hats
the
and
party.
stuff. Absolutely.
Yeah.
The other thing that I always loved was when you would put the TV in the window and just turn it around. So the TV's still inside, but everybody would be outside
Yes.
watching it from inside.
Yeah.
Those events are still happening on the first Saturday.
I want to bring them back in a big way.
oh,
I do.
I mean, so nostalgic.
Love it. And so do you have time for the rapid fire round?
I'm ready.
Hold on, let me go through here. We're a real professional production here.
I'm ready for rapid fire.
Lightning round. This is called the Kitchen Confidential.
Okay.
Okay. Cast iron or stainless steel?
Cast iron.
Bourbon or sweet tea?
Bourbon. No, that's a lie. Sweet tea. Sweet tea, for sure.
With bourbon in it?
Just sweet tea. I'm saying if I could only have one for the rest of my life,
Yeah.
sweet tea.
Really?
100%.
Okay. Sticking with it?
Sticking.
Okay. Biscuits or cornbread?
Biscuits.
Cooking for a live TV audience or the TV crew?
Ooh, TV crew.
They appreciate your food, I bet.
Oh,
It's
I
just
love it.
They're the best. Grits, savory or sweet?
Savory.
Hot sauce or extra butter?
Ooh, hot sauce.
High-end gala or backyard barbecue?
Backyard barbecue every day. Gala, I don't even need ever again in my whole life.
The Kentucky Derby or the Oaks?
Oaks. Actually,
What day do you guys go?
we go Oaks and Derby.
Oaks
we go
and
both
Derby.
days.
Is that the dress-up day?
We dress up both days. And you know what I like now more than that? Thurby.
Oh, I love Thurby.
Oh my gosh, it's my favorite.
I love Thurby.
Thurby. Now I'm like Thurby. For sure. I would, if I
Yeah.
didn't have to work for Oaks and Derby, I would only go to Thurby.
Thurby. Fried chicken, spicy or classic?
Classic.
Testing a new recipe or cooking an old favorite?
New recipe.
Here we go.
That was great.
Damaris, thank you so much.
Thank you for
That's
having me.
it.
That's it. Easy.
Before we
peasy.
go, here's my final suggestion for your summer,
Okay.
because I hear this is coming back, and I think you're like me in the sense you like nostalgia.
Okay, I'm ready.
Yacht rock summer.
Into it. I'm going to do it only on a pontoon though. It'll be like, it won't be yacht rock, it'll be pontoon rock
Pontoon
summer.
rock summer.
Just out there on
And
the
what's
pontoons.
going to be your soundtrack to your summer?
It's going to be all classic country, 90s and early 2000s hip hop, and like, I don't know, some pop hits thrown in too.
I love it. I love it. It's been a pleasure. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for watching the podcast. No matter where you're watching this right now, please leave a review because that gets the word out about this particular podcast. So until next week, have a good one, everybody. Cheers.